Whispered Logic Puzzles. Thank you for joining me. I'm Andrea, and I'm going to work through the fifth row of the first mosaic in the Pictopix app. Okay, we start out with a 0 in this row. Okay, this row we have 1, plus 1 is 2, plus 5 makes 7, and then the 2 x's in between make 9. Since this is 10 across, if we started here and did everything in a row, the end of the 5 would go to right here, the 9th spot. If we started the 5 here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This row, there's 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus the 2 x's in between is 9. So, if I started on this end and did everything consecutively, it would go 9 spots to right here. If I started the 4 on this end, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this 2, I actually will be able to put in 1 for the 2 also, because let's say I have an x right here, the 2 would go 1, 2. So remember this row, because if I have the 1 here at x, 1, 2, this spot is in common, so that will be the 2. And in this column I see this as a single 1. And with the 3 down here, 1, 2, 3 gives me that center space. And this row is where I'll look next, because we have 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 in between is 9. So if we started on this end and went across, the second 4 would end here. If the 4 started here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's say we had x, and then the next 4, it would end right here. But if this 4 started here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Looking in this column, I can see that these are all individuals. And in this column, I can see this is an individual, but this will be part of the 3. And this column is complete. Okay, this row has a 4. I can't fit the 4 here or here. If the 4 started right here, it'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. If it started here, it'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see in this column, this is part of a 3, this 2. So the third could go here or here, and this is an X. In this column, it ends with, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. If the 7 spot started here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to look at this row real fast. It has a 3 and a 1, but the 3 and the 1 can't fit here, and the 3 can't fit here, so the 3 is right here. We have 1, 2, 3. So in this column, that's an individual. This column is complete. In this column, it ends with 3. Okay. this row. It starts with 2, which doesn't fit here, so I'll put an X there. And now let's look here. I have 4 more individuals. 1 goes here, 1 in here, 1 here, and 1 here. I don't know where the 1 in here is yet. Okay, in this row, there's a 1 and a 2. The 2 won't fit here, so I'll put an X. That means in this column, this is a 1. In this row, this first 4 is complete. Okay. In this row, there's a 1 and then a 2. So this is part of the 2. The second could be here or here. In this column, it ends with 3, which won't fit down here. This column ends with a 2, which this is part of. So the second could be here or here. This row has a 2. The 2 won't fit here or here, so this is the 2. And in this column, they're individuals. And in this column, it was a 1, and then this is part of a 3. So it could go 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, X. And the second 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this column, it's an individual. And so now if this 4 started here, it would go 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this column, that 3 is 1, 2, 3. That column's complete. This row I have the 1. This is part of a 2, so 1, 2. That row is complete. In this column, it ends with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it will have a 2, 1, 2. This row is complete. This row starts with 1, 2, 3, 4. Then has a 2, then has a 1. And now this column is complete. This row is complete. This column is complete. Get 1 over here for this 2. Now this column is complete. Get 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's complete. And now right up here, we have the last one of this puzzle. Alright. Let's go to the next one. Alright, we'll start with this 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this 9, if it started right here, would go down 9 spots to here. If it started here, we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, looking in this row, it's just a 4. So I'll connect these. Now I have 3. The 4th could be here or here. We'll put X's across. This 2 won't fit here. The top 2 won't fit here. The 2 won't fit here. Okay, this row is a 1 and then a 2. If I connected, I might have 3, so this is the 2 and the 1, and that row is complete. This row is a 3 and a 1. The this has to be the one because I can't fit another one over here. 1, 2, 3. This column, I can see they're individuals. This column are individuals. This row ends with 2 single ones, which will be there and there. This column ends with 2 individual ones, so we'll do that. This column ends with a 1, or row ends with a 1, and this is part of a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and X, and then it'll be 1, 2, and the 2 in this column, there's this. The second could be here or here. In this column, it starts with the 3, so it'll be 1, 2, 3. This row is complete. This row ends with a 1. The 9 in this column just needs 1 left. Then this row, there's a part of a 2. The second could be here or here. Do that. In this column, this is a 1. This column, this is a 1. In this column, that's a 1. In this row, there's a 1 and then a 3. So I'll connect these for the 3 with X. In this row, it's a 2, then a 3. Since I can't fit through over here, again, I'll connect this. And let's just look at this column real fast. We've got 2 up here and 2 down here, and now that's complete. And this row is complete. Okay, this last row ends with a 2, 1, 2, which also finishes the column. And then has 1, 2, 3, 4. Put X's there. This column is complete, and this column is complete. This column ends with a 1. This row starts with a 2, 1, 2. This column ends with a 1, and this column ends with a 1. And here I have 1, 2, and that's then there. This row starts with a 2, 1, 2. This column starts with a 2, 1, 2. Now this row is complete. This column has a 2, 1, 2. And there we go. Got that second one. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Starts out with 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This first row is complete. The second row starts with a 1. This row starts with a 1. This row starts with a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this row is complete. This row starts with a 1. This row starts with a 1. This row starts with a 3. 1, 2, 3, X. This row starts with a 1. This row starts with a 1. This row starts with a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, X. This column is complete. This column ends with a 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this will have X's around it. This column with a 2. This is part of it. Go 1, 2. So I'll put X right there. 6. This column has a 2, 3, 2. There's an X here. I can't fit all of these down here, so that first 2 will be 1, 2. And then I have 3 plus 2 is 5. Plus the X is 6, which fits right here. So say 1, 2, 3, X. 1, 2. And this row is complete. And this row is complete. And this row is complete. This row has a 6. We only have 6 spots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this column it starts with a 2. So I'll put X's around there. This column, it'll be a single. This column will be a single. So this row ends with a 2, 1, 2. And in the middle has 2, 1, 2. This column is complete. This column starts with 3, so I'll put X, X. This row is complete. This column starts with 2, which is right there, so I'll put an X here. And then has a 1, so right there. This row has 5 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This column is complete. And the last one goes right there. Okay. Let's do the next one. Okay. This row, 0, so I'll put X's across. A couple of these, I see 3 and then 4. You can't fit both down here, and up here's only 3, so I have 1, 2, 3, and here also 1, 2, 3. Then down here, if the 4 started here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and the same here. If it started at the bottom, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and the same here. This row has an 8. If it started here, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If it started here, it'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This row only has a 7. If it started here, it'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now I have 5 squares highlighted. The other 2 could be over here, or they could be the 1, 2 there. But I'll put an X there. And this row ends with a 5. If it started here, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This column started with a 2, so this is an X. And then it has one more 2. This is one of them. The second will be here or here. And these are X's. And then this top row. This is part of the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This column starts with 3. 1, pieces and ends with a 3. I've got 2, so the third could be here or here, and this is an X. This column I've got 2, and then another 2 will go 1, 2, and then there will be an individual down here. This row is complete. This row ends with 3. 1, 2, 3, X. And it starts with 2. If that starts here, I'll go 1, 2. Which means in this column it starts with a 2. Put an X here. And got that. This row starts with a 1, and there's 1 space for that. Right there. This column has a 1 and then a 2. 1, 2, which finishes that row. Let's see. This column ends with a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This row starts with a 3. 1, 2, 3. This column is complete and this column is complete. So for the 8 in this row, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This column is complete. This column is complete. This row ends with 3. 1, 2, 3. This column is complete. And this column is complete. And the last piece is in this row, in this column. Here we go. Cool. Let's go to the next one. Okay, this first row is a 0. And this row is a 0. And this row is a 0. Okay, this first column is 1, 3, 1. I can't fit the 3 down here. So this first 1 and 3 makes 4. And the X between is 5, which fits right in here. So I'll have 1, X, 1, 2, 3. This row starts with 1. This row starts with 1. This row starts with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, X, and that finishes this row. This row starts with 1. Okay. This second column is a 2 and a 1, but I don't know where they'll be. This third column starts out with a 3. This has to be part of the 3 because I couldn't fit the 3 and an X above it. So if the 3 starts here, we'll go 1, 2, 3. I now have 2 squares highlighted. The third could be here or here. And this is an X. And the 6 in this row, if it started here, it'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I have 5 highlighted. The 6 could go here or here. And this is an X. This column has 2. There's 1, 2. This column is complete. And this column is complete. This column is individual ones. This column starts with 3. 1, 2, 3. This row it's individual ones. This row ends with a 3. 1, 2, 3. this column has individual ones. This column starts with the 2, 1, 2. This row is complete. This row has 1, then 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This column starts with a 2. This row has 1, then 3. The 3 won't fit here. So go 1, 2, 3. But this column is complete. This column is complete. This column is complete. Okay. This row, actually this column starts out with 3. 1, 2, 3. That finishes this row. This column has 1, the second one, and the third one. So in this row it's 2, there's 1, the second will be here, or here, and these are X's. This row, if the 4 starts here, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this column is complete. So this 2 goes 1, 2, and this column is complete. This 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Let's go ahead and start the next one. Okay. So this first row, there's 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus this X is 8, plus this X is 9, plus this X is 10. So this row will fill the whole thing across. So we'll go 1, X, 1, X, 1, X, 1, 2, 3, 4. This column starts with an individual 1. This column starts with 3. 1, 2, 3, X. This column starts with 2. 1, 2, X. This column starts with 2. 1, 2, X. This column starts with 1, X. This column starts with 1, X. And this column starts with 1, X. This row has 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this column starts with 2. 1, 2. This column starts with, or let's put X. This column starts with 1, X. This column starts with 1, X. This row has 3. 1, 2, 3. This row is complete. This first column is complete. Okay. 2. This column will next have a 4. If it starts here, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. If the 4 starts here, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. This row is a 3. If it starts here, we'll go 1, 2, 3. With 2 highlighted, the third will be here or here, and these are X's. This row starts with 3. If it starts here, we'll go 1, 2, 3. And then in this column, there's a 1, then a 3, then a 1. If the last one is right here, and an X, then this is the 3. it just is a 4. So these are X's. Let's see. This will be a 3. 3, 3. This column ends with 3. It starts here, we'll go 1, 2, 3. And now this row is complete. In this row, we'll have a 4. If it starts here, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. If it starts here, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. In this column, this is an individual. And then I have 2 more individuals. One is here, and the next is in one of these spots. In this column, this is part of a 2. So there's 1. The second will be here or here, and these are X's. In this row, this is parts of the 3, and then this is the 1. So put X and in the row with X's. And see. 4, 3, 3. In this column, the 4, if it starts here, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And this row starts with 2, so it'll be 1, 2. This column ends with 3. If it starts here, it will go 1, 2, 3. With 2 highlighted, the third could be here or here. And this is an X. But now, since this row starts with 3, if it starts here, we'll go 1, 2, 3. And looking in this column, the next thing is a 2. The 2 can't fit above this, so this is part of the 2. So I've got this one, and then I can have this or this. So here we've got X. And in this row, we'll have 2, which doesn't fit here. So it's an X. And the 2 will be in these 3 spaces, which means that will be part of it. Then in this column, this isn't part of a 2, so 1, 2, and X's. In this row, it's a 4. I've already got 3, the 4th could be here or here, but this is an X. So now in this column, it will be 1, 2, and I finish this row. This column, it will be 3, 1, 2, 3. This row starts with 3, 1, 2, 3, X. This column is complete. This column ends with 1, and there's only 1 space right there. This row is complete. This column starts with 3, 1, 2, 3. This column ends with 2, 1, 2. This is an X. This row is complete. See, this column I have 2, 1, 1, 1. Now this row is complete. This row I This row ends in 2, 1, 2. This column has a 1 and then another 1. Okay, this row. Okay, there's 4 plus 1 is 5. Plus x in between makes 6. So if I were to start over here, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if the 4 were to start here, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in this column, I only have a 2. There's 1. So the second could be here or here. And in this column, I just have a 2 and there's 1. Second could be here. That's an X or here. And these are X's. This row will have a 2. Won't fit here or here. So of these 3 squares, there will be a 2. So I know this is 1. And from this column, I can tell that this is an individual. This has 4 individual ones. If I did 1, X, second one, X, third one, X, I know I can't fit all 4 here. So the 4th is right there, which completes that row. This column, this is an individual, so we'll do that. This row starts with 2, which doesn't fit here or here. So out of these 3 squares will be 2, so I know the second is 1. And this column starts with 2, 1, 2, X. Then has another 1 right there. In this row, this is an individual. In this row, this is part of a 2. There's 1. 2 could be here or here. These are X's. This column I have 1, 2. And in this row, this is part of 1, 2. I then have another individual 1 right there. Okay. In this row, this will be a 4. And then this is a 1. Which in this column is an individual, so I'll put X above. In this row, I'll have 2, so 1, 2. In this column, I've got 2. So there's 1. The second will be here or here, and these are X's. This row has 1, 2. This column lets me know this is an X. And in this column, I've got 1 last individual right there. This row is complete. This column has 2, 1, 2. Now this row is complete. This column has 2, so 1, 2. And this column has another individual. Okay. Let's do the next one. Okay, there's X's here. Oh wow, the whole bottom is X's. Okay. There's a 6 here. There's only 6 openings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 over here. If it starts here, it will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it starts here, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This row ends with 2, so 1, 2, X. This row ends with 2, so 1, 2, X. This row ends with 1, second x is 10. So I can just fill it out. So 1, 2, 3, x. 1, 2, x. 1, 2, 3. This column is complete. This column ends with a 1. This column ends with a 1. This column is complete. This column is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. This column ends in 1. And this row starts with 1. And this is part of a 2. So the second can be here or here. This is an x. This row starts with 1. And then this is part of a 2. Now this column has 1, 2. This row ends with a 2. 1, 2, x, and then another 2. 1, 2. This column is complete. This row has 1, 2. This row is complete. And this column has 1, 2, 3. Okay. I think I've got one more, but I'm just going to check because sometimes I can get carried away. So let's come back here. Yep, one more. So let's go ahead and do this last one. Oh my. Lots of 0 columns and rows. Okay. Zeros. All these zeros. Okay. This column has 2. Won't fit here. So 1, 2. This column has 2. Won't fit here. 1, 2. This row. Oh. Wrong button. This row is complete. This row starts with 1, then has 1, 2. Now this row is complete. This column is complete. This column has 1. And here we have 1, 2. That's only 8 squares. That's funny. I don't know if I've ever done one with that few squares, that much space. Okay. Let's come back here now and look at that. So that was just like a few little pieces of grass is what we did there. That's really cool. Alright, well thank you for joining.